Hey,
what's up,
this
y'all?
thing is live. What's
My
up,
dude.
man? Hey, welcome to the 2024 Grow Your Church Workshop. We're so excited that you are here. I'm Ryan. This is Chris.
What's up, y'all?
We're going to be your captains today during this experience. We're going to make the most of your time. During the workshop, we're going to lay out a month-by-month plan that you can use at your church to reach as many people as possible. We're just a few days into 2024, and we're believing that this is going to be your best year yet to reach as many people as possible. That is what fires us up. I hope it really resonates in your heart, and so that's what we're going to be doing today. We've got an incredible plan for you today. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to jump right in. We're going to start flying through this as quickly as possible to make the most of your time here. So we've got a great presentation for you today. So as you're jumping in, why don't you let us know where in the world are you participating from? So we're in Kansas City, but Chris, where do you guys live?
Man, yes, I'm Tulsa, Oklahoma. I drove up here, man. We're at the CMU Church Fuel Ryan Wakefield headquarters, hanging out at Wakefield's house. So I'm originally from Tulsa, Oklahoma. We're in Kansas City right now. Y'all let us know where you guys are from.
So it's great to see. We got people registered. We've got coming up on about 7,000 pastors from all around the world that are registered.
Crazy.
So let us know. Oh, man, you guys are already blowing up the chat. California, Houston, New York, Texas.
I can't even read that fast.
Wichita, San Diego. Man, keep that going.
So
That's
Miami,
fun.
Charlotte,
That's fun to see.
Oklahoma City.
What's cool to see is you guys think about this. We almost have a stadium full of people registered for this event that are all passionate about the local church. So if you think about that a moment, that's why I love seeing these names. People all around the world who love Jesus, who are committed to building his church. And so that is so cool to see. So keep it going. Where are you participating from? That's amazing to see. If you have questions throughout the workshop, just use the question feature. Sherry's going to be helping us send those to us. We're going to be jumping into that kind of at the end of the 90-minute workshop. Keep in mind also, this is a no drama zone. So Church Fuel, we're not a big fan of drama. So this is not, we're not going to argue. We're all rallying around building God's church. And so that's what we're here for. So that if you're looking for drama, please go elsewhere. Okay. So this is a no drama zone. And then stay to the end. Our team is preparing all the goodies for you. So notes, workbook, implementation guide, replay. We got Mary. She's the best note taker on the planet. Ashley, Nathan, the team. And so we're bundling all that together. We've got some of the things. You just never know what happens during a live workshop experience. So stay to the end and we will show you where you can get all of those things in one simple link. So that is being prepared for you guys. I know I emailed a lot of you guys just asking for your opinion. That's been so cool to see. That was very, very helpful in generating the workshop that you're going to experience today. If you are one of our over 600 Grow churches, hello, we love you guys. We do have an experience for you that's 22 minutes long that you can go through in your dashboard, in your Grow dashboard. So if you want to hang here, we'd love for you to cheer us on, give some of your experience. We've got some things that we're going to expound on today, but there is an on-demand experience waiting for you in your dashboard as well. So as we're jumping in, we do want to do a poll. We want to know who we're hanging out with today. So what best describes your job description? So you'll see a poll over in the chat. That's going to go live. We will show you the results once that is done. So be sure that you vote in the poll. I think a lot of us, especially since 2020, have about 20 different things in our job description. I've been a part of a church planning team. I've been a communications, creative services director. I'm currently a kids volunteer rock star. At least that's what they tell me.
Come on.
I'm also a backup to Nathan on the teaching team. Anyway, that's an inside joke. Chris, give us a couple things that you've done in the local church.
Man, I've done a little bit of everything. I was in youth ministry for 15 years. I've been a worship leader for 19 years. So I still lead worship. I was a pastor for 5 years. I've done a little bit of everything. The marketing and media director. I've run teams on churches. So been basically in ministry most of my adult life.
Very cool. We're seeing the results come in. You guys will see these here in a second. A lot of lead pastors. So I got my collared shirt on today. You got a sweater.
Man,
we're on our best behavior. What's up, lead pastors? We love you. We got associate pastors, then comms directors. You'll see this here in a second. Oh man, I need some more kids people. Where are my kids people?
Youth pastors and worship leaders. Where are they at?
Okay, we'll have to get back with them. Maybe they haven't come back from vacation yet. Maybe that's
I'm sorry, guys. They're still on Christmas break.
Hey, one of the things that we want to announce, if you haven't heard the news, Church Fuel and Church Marketing University have officially joined forces. So as of January 1, 2024, we are now all under Church Fuel. We are working on a brand new experience. We're calling it Church Fuel 2.0. We're going to have a grand opening coming up in May. We're putting the best of Church Fuel, the best of Church Marketing University into a brand new experience. You guys are absolutely going to love this. We're going to focus on 5 things. You can see them right there on your screen, but really 3 big outcomes. How do we help your church fuel you forward in visitors, volunteers, and giving? Do I have anybody that would say we could use those 3 things? So if you want more of those, how do we get people to your church? How do we get them to have a great experience and get them connected and get them coming back and being discipled? That's what Church Fuel 2.0 is going to be all about. The team is working really, really hard on a whole new site and experience. You guys are absolutely going to love it. All of the kits are in there, all of the stuff from Church Fuel, the coaching program. It's really going to be amazing. So shout out to Chase on the team, Ashley and others who've been working really, really hard on that. So, hey, as we're jumping in, one of the things that we always do at Church Fuel is we start and finish everything in prayer. So, Chris, would you open us up in prayer here for the workshop?
Hey, let's do it. God, I wish to come before you right now. I thank you for every single pastor and church leader that's represented on this workshop today. God, I pray for every single one of them, God, no matter where they're at, no matter what type of situation they're in right now. God, I pray that you would bring people and volunteers and resources into their lives. God, I pray that you would open up doors of opportunity that no man can shut. God, I pray that you would increase their sphere of influence right now. God, increase their tents. God, we just thank you right now in the name of Jesus that every single place that the sole of their foot treads, they're on land that you've given them. God, that no weapon formed against them shall prosper, but every single thing that they put their hand to will. God, I pray that you would help us to communicate clearly and effectively during this workshop, to be able to help every single church leader that's on here today. God, and we just pray that as we go through 2024, God, that you would do exceedingly abundantly above and beyond all that we could ask or imagine. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Man, that's get me fired up. Hey, we want to introduce you to some of your pilots and co-pilots throughout this experience. We have 4 workshops planned. You are at the first one. You got the pilot here, Chris Abbott. One of the cool things that I love about Chris is he's helped churches pray for over 200,000 people and has helped those churches generate over 20,000 planar visits. So this guy knows so much about helping churches get visitors in the door and get them connected quick. I absolutely love that. You're going to hear some of the stuff that he's pioneered with Plan Your Visit and prayer ads. But if there's anybody on the planet that God has gifted to help you in this area, it's Chris. And I absolutely love what we're able to do through Grow, just praying for now hundreds of thousands of people. So if you've ever run the prayer ads that Chris has pioneered or Plan a Visit, give him a shout out, because he really has been an entrepreneur leading the way in those areas. So that's really cool to see. You got me here. I'll be your co-pilot today. What's one of the cool things looking back over the last, I think about 8 years now, we've worked with 71,000 church leaders,
nuts, bro,
helping them reach more people. So getting more visitors is one of the things that we've just specialized in for years in our kits and playbooks and conferences and courses. So it's humbling to now to just think God's allowed us to work with tens of thousands of church leaders.
Let me say this, because Ryan won't say this by himself. But so here's the deal. Ryan is one of the smartest and literally most gifted church marketers like on the planet. There was a couple of years ago, I don't even remember this. So Ryan called me. I was like, hey, we'd actually never met in person. He's like, hey, I'm speaking at a conference in Dallas. I'm driving through your town. What if I just scoop you up and we go hang out for the next couple of days? Right. So he scooped me up. We drove down to Dallas, where he killed it at a conference down there and spoke and crushed it. But we got stuck in traffic. So a 4-hour drive turned into like 5.5, 6 hours, because anybody that's been to Dallas, you know. And I remember the whole time he was just talking, he's like, oh, yeah, well, we're doing this. And then we teach churches how to do this. And he kept saying things. I was like, wait, say that again. What's up? And I was like taking notes on everything that he said. And it was absolutely amazing. So I'm telling you, like, you guys are blessed to have this dude in the pilot seat right now, because it's going to be good today.
A couple other of our pilots that are going to be helping on webinars and the workshops that we have scheduled. We got Michael, founder of Church Fuel. He served as a lead pastor. Michael literally wrote the book on church systems streamline. It's fantastic. And so, man, just getting partnered up and joining forces with Church Fuel and their team and becoming one team. It's been amazing. Michael is so smart, has such a passion for churches to get healthy systems. And so we focused a lot on visitors. Michael's focused a lot on making sure that those visitors get connected and are plugged into a healthy church. So we've got like the front door and the back door like now working together. So that's incredible. We got John Eric Mosler. He's been our coach since day one. John Eric served as an executive pastor. His adventures include working with some of the most like amazing brands on the planet, like Disney, Pixar, and NASA. He's actually jumped in and officially joined our team, and he's helping us kind of in this period where we're joining forces with Church Fuel to help us navigate all that. And so he's also going to be jumping into these workshop experience. So you guys are in good hands. Shout out to the entire Church Fuel team. We've got a team of 27 who are working right now behind the scenes. We love the local church. We have 3,000 members that are part of Church Fuel and 600 Grow members that are in our Done For You approach. Currently managing over $1.5 million of ad spend a month, telling people about Jesus and inviting them to Jesus-centered churches. So really, really cool to see. We want to learn more about you now. We'd love to know, you told us kind of your job description. We'd love to know your church size. So Nathan will be firing a poll. We'll show you the results at the end. So, are you guys 0 to 100, 100 to 300, 300 to 1,000? Do we have any like 1,000 plus churches? I think we've been a part of all of these. Yep. Here. Yep. Do we have any church planners? You guys are our favorite people. Don't tell the other people, but you're our favorite people on the planet. So it's cool to see, but we want to know what church size are you there? So we love at Church Fuel, Michael has used this for years, insanely practical resources for normal sized churches. So we've got a lot of normal sized churches. You guys are the vast majority. So it's cool to see who we're serving here today. That's awesome. You guys will see the results here in just a second. Now, our goal as we go through this workshop is unashamedly, we want to make heaven more crowded. We want to crowd heaven. That's why we do what we do. That's what Chris and I and the team love to do. We are not going to pull any punches. This thing is centered on Jesus, and we just know we're going to be talking about visitors. But as local churches, we got to keep the main things ultimately pointing people to Jesus, right? So if you crowd out your sanctuary, you have to open up more services. If you're not pointing people to Jesus, we've missed the point of this. And so we want to say that right up front. Our philosophy, we talk a lot about the word marketing, but we really see it as ministry. It's not marketing, it's ministry. Chris will talk about that a lot throughout this workshop you'll see here today. And our heart, I hope you know this, here at Church Fuel, our team is pastors and church leaders are our heroes. And so any chance we get to hang out with 1,000 of our heroes, it's just a great day. And so we love waking up every single day. You guys are the Avenger team out there, and we're thinking, how can we help you? How can we help you in the call that God has put on your church and your heart? And so we absolutely love that you would hang out with our team here today. Our hope at the end of this is that you leave encouraged, that you and your team, we've been praying behind the scenes that some of you guys who are thinking about quitting, you guys would be fired up, you'd be dialed in, and you would stick into it, and that God's got some big plans ahead. So we've been praying specifically for you in hope that you just walk away saying, okay, 2024, here we come. We are optimists, so you're going to get a lot of optimism here. I know some of the people I was texting with, like, hey, Happy New Year. It's like, 2024 is going to be a bad year. It's like, come on now, come on, bring on the 2-4. Let's go. And so unashamedly, we are optimists, and hopefully you leave this fired up and encouraged. Our obsession is to help churches get more visitors each week. I know we got a lot of people who are watching as a team, and I know if you get your team together, there's a lot of great things and really, really important things that we could talk about. We could talk about prayer ministry and compassion ministry and expository preaching and kids and youth, and there's all foreign missions, and there's a whole list. I actually printed out apologetics and like a whole list here of like, when we do a workshop like this, I get a lot of emails like, well, if you guys would just do expository preaching, like your services would be full. And I'm like, I get all that. All of that is important. What we want you to know, we don't see that as competitive. We see that as we need everybody. And what you're going to get today is people that are obsessed with the visitor part of that. So if you're cool with that, give us permission to just hone in on visitors. This is not saying, hey, we shouldn't preach the gospel. This is not saying expository preaching isn't important or compassion ministry. Like all of that is a priority. It needs to be a focus. But this is like, how do we get more people so that they can hear your amazing preaching, right? Like, so that's where we feel uniquely gifted by God. So Chris, Walk us through Luke 14. It's one of your favorite verses here.
I love this verse, right? Like go out to the highways and hedges and compel them to come in, that my house may be full. I believe like that operative word compel, right? Compel them to come in. I think that's on us, right? Like that's a commandment on us, that it's not just go out and invite them in, but compel them to come in. And so that's what we're going to be talking about here a lot today. That's kind of what Ryan and I have given our lives to, is helping the church compel people to come in, right? And be able to get more visitors in. So that's what we're going to be talking about here today.
So you guys have been giving us a lot of feedback leading up to the workshop. So that has been very, very helpful. Thought I would just give you an insight on what a lot of your fellow pastors said as far as their biggest obstacle to growing their church. Frustrated that their people don't invite. And we're going to talk about that here in a second. Some of you guys said, hey, I don't have a big budget. And every year they're saying there's a recession coming. So I'm a little bit afraid to even spend money on inviting people. Some of you say, hey, I don't have resources or a plan. So we're going to be talking about all those things. You guys are, if that is you, you are in the right place. It is interesting going into 2024. Almost 80% of you said we either do not have a plan or we don't feel great about our visitor plan, which is crazy. If you think about it, the majority of churches aren't growing. They're plateaued or declining. They're not growing. So and it's, as you start to look at the data, it's not surprising, because the majority of churches don't have a plan to grow, which is why you're here today. So we're going to solve that for sure. But if you think about it, man, if we don't have a plan to grow, a lot of us, yes, we're hoping, yes, we're praying, but let's get a plan in place and do our part. We know that God ultimately builds his house, but there are laborers who labor, right? That's us. And so we're going to be working a plan. I do think God is a God of plans and systems and gives us insight on that. 5% of you said we have a system that brings us new people every single week. So that means 95% of you are in the perfect spot as we're talking about how do we get a system that brings you new people every single week. Most of you, your churches and your fellow pastors, feel the most confident with your congregation inviting visitors to events. I don't think that's surprising. Christmas, Easter, that's when we have a lot of visitors. Yep. And so how do we do that all year round, not just on a couple big events? And then this was the promotion you guys were planning to do in 2024 in order of volume. So most of the churches are planning to do an outreach. Look at you, Facebook ads, man. That's all Chris Abbott right there.
Come on.
Invite cards, mailers. And then coming in last, this makes my soul hurt, Google ads and the grant program. And so we're going to be talking a little bit about that today, but that was your feedback. So as we get started, we want to talk about this. The number one mistake that Chris and I see frustrated church leaders making is this, is you're trying to build your visitor system without a foundation in place. Everybody is well-meaning, and you're going to conferences or you're hearing a podcast, and you end up just trying idea after idea after idea. Sherry, when she was at Friendship Church, would describe this as a never-ending treadmill of ideas that only just led to more confusion and overwhelm and very few results. So do we have anybody that would say, okay, I've heard of another church that's been there? So we need to get you guys a system in place to get off the treadmill. You guys don't need more random ideas to do. You need a system in place that works. And here's the big thing when we talk about a system. You need a system that works every day, in every season, no matter what is happening. And I want you to remember the sprinkler system analogy. This was a big one we could talk about. I love this story. But when I wanted to grow a healthy lawn, the big game changer was when I got a sprinkler system installed that could run every day in every season. And that was when I produced health. And so many of you guys, you're trying to just walk out there manually. Oh, let's try this, or let's try this, or I saw another church do this. You get a little bit of green, but you don't have a healthy lawn in the metaphor. And so you need a system in place that works every day and every season, and no matter what else is happening. If you're on sabbatical, your system keeps working. And so that's what we want to do. We call this in Church Fuel and in our Grow program an automatic invite system. So what we're going to show you throughout the presentation today is our plan and how we implement this for our Grow churches in 2024. Okay, month by month, we'll walk you through this. You're welcome to take the ideas and use them at your church. Last year, we used the word steal. A lot of people didn't like that, so not steal them, but use them. You've got our permission. No stealing involved.
You can
have
borrow.
Our permission. Yeah, borrow, use, take whatever you want, implement it at your church. And then at the end, if you want our team, you're like, man, that plan looks amazing. I'd love to just work with those 27 people who are passionate about this to just help me all year round. We'll talk to you about that at the end. But the goal of an automatic invite system is you have a system that works every day, even if you don't have a big team. Even if your people you're frustrated, they don't invite, even if you don't have a big budget, you don't have enough volunteers, you're already overwhelmed and you don't know how. you should still have an automatic invite system that is working for your church. So I'm questioning here, we're going to do another poll. Does your church currently have an automatic invite system in place where no matter what's happening in your life of your church, that automatically, this week, you're going to invite hundreds of people. Next week, doesn't matter. If the lead pastor goes on sabbatical, doesn't matter. You have a key volunteer that needs to take a break. It doesn't matter. That you have a way that you're automatically inviting your community in place. Chris, you were telling me last night, just out of your heart, like that you think a lot of just getting more visitors is just volume of invites. Yeah. If we're not inviting people, then why would we think we're going to get visitors?
Yeah. And really, I mean, that's what it is, right? Like at the end of the day, the amount of visitors that you have on Sunday is a direct reflection of the amount of invites you had that week, right? So like if you only had 5 people invited that week and you don't have any visitors on Sunday, it's not shocking, right? It's just math. Right. But at the same time, if you went out and you invited 500 people that week, you'd probably have a couple of visitors on Sunday. Right. And it really is that simple. Right. Like and so that's kind of what we're going to talk about. Right. If you have an automatic invite system in place that is just automatically inviting people, you're going to start to see that steady stream of visitors. Again, it's not rocket surgery. Right. It's just math.
I love how I think John Eric's probably laughing and appreciating what'd you say? It's not blank. It's math. It's not shocking. It's math. Yeah. So I love that. So it looks like the vast majority, 94% of us don't have this system in place. So this is great because we're going to talk about this. This is right now our favorite way to set up an automatic invite system for churches. Again, none of this that we're going to be talking about is the silver bullet. It's not the thing that's going to quadruple your congregation, but it is a best practice that we feel like every local church should be doing. You should have a system in place. This is what we do for our grow churches. We tap into a rich businessman that we know who, would you believe me, will give our churches $10,000 a month up to $120,000 a year to tell people about Jesus, even if we go into a recession. There is somebody that's willing to donate this. We have a little bit of fun with this because it is Google, shockingly enough, that will give registered 501c3 churches, and you can get this through a denomination umbrella, $120,000 a year in ad credit, or that breaks down to $10,000 a month. And credit, if you don't use it, you lose it. So it's not like you have $1 million waiting for you, and it's not like they don't deliver a briefcase of cash to your church's door, but they do say, hey, if you go into the program, we will give you up to $10,000 a month in ad credit that you can use for your nonprofit. We use it to tell people about Jesus and invite them to our churches. We're spending, I think, close to $2 million a month for churches in this very program, creating these automatic invite systems. Our team sets up and runs the campaigns for the church, and the goal is to make sure that you have an automatic invite system. Right now, this is our favorite way to get that going, so your church is always inviting. This is some examples of what this looks like in a month. This was a church. This is from December of last year, so December 2023. We spent nearly $9,200. No, that's almost full $10,000. We got 1,300 people from driving distance of their church to go to this church's website using the automatic invite system that we set up. So using Google's money, we got 1,300 people during Christmas time that just happened to go from Google to this church's website. So that's the power of an automatic invite system. This is a church that's in Wisconsin. We got 1,000 people there to their website. This is a church that's in Blue Springs, Missouri. I think I know who this is. We got them 2,000 people from within transportation distance of their church. I actually think this is an online church specifically as well, which we can expand it based on kind of the type of church that you are. So it's kind of cool that it can be custom to your church. So that's the automatic invite system. We say that in 2024, your church needs a way that you can be automatically inviting your community all year round. So you should have that in place. And then on top of that, we're going to now talk about systems and now the seasons part of that. And when we get into 2024, we're going to break down your calendar year. Again, keep in mind, automatic invite system runs in every season, but we're going to break your upcoming year into 2 specific seasons. So Chris, walk us through, what are the 2 seasons?
Yeah. So momentum seasons and ministry seasons. So, and I think a lot of you guys probably know this intuitively, but have probably never heard this language, right? So a momentum season are kind of the natural momentum points throughout the course of the year, right? So Christmas and New Year's is just a natural momentum point, right? Like we naturally have people that come to church on Christmas, right? And January, our attendance is just always naturally up, right? So those are the momentum seasons. So like Christmas and New Year's, Easter, Mother's Day, back to school, a lot of times like your fall festival, that kind of stuff. And then the ministry seasons are the seasons in between those momentum points. And what happens is a lot of churches will actually kind of take their foot off the gas a little bit during those ministry seasons, right? Especially in the summertime, right? Like in the church world, right? We call it the summer slump, right? So we even have a name for that ministry season, right? And we kind of take our foot off the gas. But what we want to really communicate here, like today, is that if you go hard in the paint and really really plant seeds during your ministry season, that's when you can harvest in the momentum seasons, right? So you plant the seeds in the ministry seasons, right? That'll set the stage, and then you harvest in those momentum seasons, right? My pastor always says, like, man, you can be walking in the harvest of the seeds that you've been planting, and that's exactly what happens with ministry seasons and momentum seasons.
Yep. And so for some of you guys, if you feel like, man, our Easter and Christmas has gone a little bit flat of people showing up, it could be because you're not putting the seed in the ground in the ministry season. So lean into that. If you're like, man, we love big days. Chris and I absolutely love big days. This guy right here is fantastic at helping our churches go big. Wait till you see like the praise reports coming in. When he helps you set up your invite strategy for like Easter, Christmas, Mother's Day, it's incredible. But sometimes some of you guys are not putting enough seeds in the ministry season. So be sure you're paying attention, because that's a big aha for a lot of you guys. So in 2024, just to be clear, you're going to have the automatic invite system that is maximizing each season. Then in each of the momentum seasons, in the ministry seasons at Churchfield, we create kits, courses, campaigns, labs, playbooks to make the most of those seasons. We will put those in the implementation guide that we make available at the end of this. We have a really, really cool calendar that shows you what we have prepared for the year. What kits do we have prepared for each month? What do we recommend that you're working on? What are we doing in the Grow program for your church? And so for all of our members, this kind of shows you what we have in store for 2024. It is going to be incredible. This is going to be the best plan that we've ever created to help you get as many people as possible. Every year it gets better, and certainly now joining forces together with Churchfield, this is going to be an incredible plan. So you can go through that. Our team will make, if you stay to the end, this calendar available. We've got a blank one that you can go and if you want to customize it a little bit. Some of our favorite churches will put this up on their boardroom wall, and so you can keep it in front of you all year round, or print it out, keep it on your desk. But this will also show you what's new this year is we've kind of got a key over here. What's a resource? What's a lab? A lab is just when we do this with our members. It's like a workshop with just members, or a resource that we've already done for your church. We've already done like 80% of your 2024 year done for you. So congratulations. You're starting the year way ahead. So let's jump in. And now we're going to go month by month. We're going to start with February, because obviously we're already in kind of January. And so we're going to unpack each month. So Chris, I'll do February, and then I'll cue you up for our next season. We really look at February as one of those ministry seasons. It's one of those seasons where if you do the right kind of area that we're going to talk through here, man, it sets you up going into our next big season, which is a momentum season, Easter, Mother's Day coming up. So what we like to talk with our Grow churches to do in February is really focus in the ministry kind of season and focus in the area of personal evangelism. And if you can start working with your church in this area, and we've got a personal evangelism kit, we've got a witness challenge that you can do, we've got some other things coming up in store for you in February in this area. It sets the stage then when you now to put it into action with Easter right around the corner. One of the cool things that we're going to be doing for all of our Grow churches and throughout Churchfield is we're going to give you a new idea monthly for congregation activation. For those of you who are a little bit frustrated, hey, my people don't invite, this is going to be the solution for you to get your congregation activated. And we're going to give you this activation segment monthly for 2024. So that way you can have an automatic invite system, you can have a congregation system, and you'll just keep adding the systems here. So the goal is we want all of our churches to develop a culture of invitation in 2024. But we know this, great leaders take responsibility. So if you are one of the pastors that said, hey, I'm frustrated because my people don't invite, that starts with the leader. So when the Kansas City Chiefs lose, the first guy at the podium is Andy Reid, and he says, hey, that's my fault. Our job as a coaching staff is to put the players in the right position. We didn't do that today. We will get that fixed. So before we get to complain about our congregation, we have to ask ourselves as leaders, are we putting our congregation in the place for them to succeed? I'm going to show you a 7-part framework in order to do that. If you do the 7-part framework and your congregation still doesn't invite, you can now throw them under the bus. Okay. So I give you permission, but only until you do the 7-part framework. Here's the 7 parts. You ready? And you guys might take a screenshot of this and revisit later with your team to see if you've done it. So pray for a breakthrough. We know everything starts and ends in prayer. Have you made this a point of prayer that your congregation would be activated? Number 2, you need to teach your people what the Bible says about this topic, about evangelism, and you need to teach them what do you want them to do, okay? Don't expect that they understand either of those. Number 3, you need to resource your people. Here is everything that you need to invite. So that can be invite cards, and we can talk about that. We will give you those for our church field churches all year round in this segment, okay? Number 4, your leaders have to lead the way. You have to set an example. You, your leadership team, your board, your key volunteers. Here is what inviting looks like. So you have to lead the way. Number 5 is and this is a big one. This is the biggest opportunity, I think, in the local church in this area is you need to now take time out of service to do this together. So now it can no longer be, hey, invite somebody to Christmas or Easter this week. Hey, do this week. You wouldn't do that with worship. You wouldn't say, hey, guys, welcome to church. Yep. Hey, this week we want you to sing these 3 songs, right? You know, because you're going to take time out of service and you're actually going to sing the songs. And you wouldn't say, hey, this week we want you to study the Bible. No, you're going to actually show them an example of let's take time out of our service and let's actually do this together. And what I'm proposing to you guys in 2024, once a month, you take a 5-minute window out of a service. I didn't say before service. I didn't say after service. I didn't say at a men's breakfast. I didn't say in your small group ministry. I said during your service, take 5 minutes once a month and do a congregation activation segment. And we're actually going to give you what to do in those segments in Church Fuel for 2024. Number 6, celebrate like crazy. Here is what success looks like. This is what Chris did, and we're celebrating like crazy. Number 7 is repeat monthly. If you do this framework, you take time out of your service, you pray, you teach your people, you give them what you need, you do it as leaders, you actually give them time and service to actually do this, and then you celebrate stories like crazy, and you repeat this monthly. If you do this throughout 2024, one of 2 things are going to happen. Either number 1, your congregation is actually going to do it, which that will be most of you, or number 2, they're like, no, it actually is our people. They're actually pretty not activated, okay? Then you can have my permission to kind of complain about them. But we're the shepherd, and if the shepherd isn't leading, we can't complain about the sheep, okay? It's our responsibility first. So that's congregation activation. Chris, let's move it into now one of our favorite momentum seasons of the year, starting in March.
Yeah, so I love this. I think everybody does, right? Like Easter is kind of the Super Bowl, all right, of the church world. And so that season of March through May, you've got March leading up to right Palm Sunday, and then Easter, and then all the way through Mother's Day. So a lot of people don't realize this, but Mother's Day is actually the 2nd largest attended Sunday of the entire year, right? It goes Easter, Mother's Day, and then Christmas. So we always joke about Christmas and Easter, but Mother's Day is actually historically the 2nd largest attended Sunday of the entire year. So that is a whole momentum season going from March all the way to the middle of May following Mother's Day. Excuse me. And one of the things that we've seen, so we talked about how if you do your ministry season correctly in February, right, you can sow those seeds and you'll reap the harvest in this momentum season of March, April, and May. The same is true with that momentum season. If you utilize this momentum season correctly, you can actually springboard into the summer, and you can actually see a much larger attendance during the summer. So we actually helped a church. I know of a church, they're running about 140 every single week, right? We talked about this, and they use some of the strategies that we talk about, especially like with Facebook ads, right? Like the Easter ads, Grow Lab, like taking Facebook ads, creating an Easter stack. We've got like a whole framework for that. And what they did was they went from 140, they had 287 people that showed up on Easter, and then they averaged 180 all the way through the summer. Right. So literally just went from 140 to 180 because they had that springboard of a momentum season with Easter. So some of the resources that you guys have access to, right? Like the Ultimate Easter Kit, the Easter Ads Grow Lab, Mother's Day Kit, New Believers Kit, the Connection Members Lab, right? So for those of you guys who are already in Grow or in some of our programs, we have those things. For those of you guys who aren't, there's plenty of resources out there. And again, if you guys stick around, we've actually got a workbook that outlines everything that we're talking about here today. We're going to give that to you here at the end. But that's why that momentum season is so important of March, April, May, is if you do that right, you can springboard into the summer, excuse me, and you can actually ride the momentum all the way through the summer and then into the next momentum season.
Yeah. One of the things that we'll do kind of with that congregation activation piece, we'll give you a couple ideas in leading up to Easter in March. You probably could do this 2 or 3 weeks. So in 1 week, you could take 5 minutes like, hey, we're going to put some ideas up on the screen of text messages that you can send to your friends right now and invite them to Easter, right? So it could be an example like, hey, everybody pull out your phone. There's some examples up there. Hey, the Wakefield family, we're at Summit Park Church today. They just announced everything they're doing for Easter. It's going to be incredible. Does your family have Easter plans yet? Question mark, send, right? Like you could give examples of what they can do. And then the next week you could say, hey, we just put our invite video out on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, all the things. Everybody get out your phone and let's go ahead and tag our neighbors, our friends, go ahead and share it. So that's how you kind of partner what we're doing on congregation activation. And again, we'll give you guys all the ideas, the scripts, the visuals that you can put up on the screen to make the most of these momentum seasons. So now like, you guys are starting to see like this thing take off throughout the year. February is a great month because you're getting your congregation involved. March is a great month going into Easter. Easter, if you haven't planned yet, March 31st. And so now you're starting to get momentum here. And then we're going to go take that straight into Mother's Day. Now, we talked about the automatic invite system. We mentioned how the automatic invite system makes every season better. So one of the things that we do is we're using Google's money to invite people to these big momentum days. So the big holiday days, the big event days. So we're using Google's money. This church here, this was last Easter in New Jersey, used almost $5,000 of Google's money to invite 1,000 people to their Easter landing page, which is incredible. Again, so every time you're doing one of these seasons, think back to this system that is helping you do this. And so again, some of you said, hey, we don't have a big budget. Google will give you this. So this church just used $5,000 of somebody else's budget to get 1,000 people to their Easter landing page, okay? So this was a church in Brooklyn, New York. I think this is Pastor Antonio's church. Same thing, over close to $4,500 leading into Easter to get 1,000 people to their Easter landing page. So your automatic invite system, yes, is working every day, but it's also working on all of your big days as well. So, and then we can run it for Mother's Day, right? So this church here in North Dakota. So some of you guys are like, we're in the middle of Kansas. We're in the middle of North Dakota. Hey, you can still use Google's money. This church spent over $5,000 in North Dakota to get close to 1,000 people to their Easter landing. No, this was Mother's Day page. So again, the automatic invite system, every day for sure, but every big day for sure as well. So this next season, Chris, I like what you say, punch the summer slump in the face. So I'm going to give you a chance to do that here in January. So walk us through why summer is such a great ministry season.
Yeah, so I think the summer is probably the single biggest opportunity that churches have that a lot of us miss. Right, is because it's this giant ministry season where we can just go all in on relationships. My favorite way to do that personally is with the prayer ad system. Right, so if any of you guys have ever watched any of the YouTube videos out there, I've got a bunch of videos outlining the prayer ad system, so we won't go into it in depth here. But it's basically you're running a Facebook ad, right? Running an ad on Facebook and Instagram, just asking people in your community how you can pray for them, right? And then they actually like reach out, send their prayer request. Then you can pray for them. You can send them an audio prayer, right? That way they hear your voice using their name, praying for their situation, which is really, really powerful, right? And then it kind of elevates that kind of online anonymous conversation that you're having to a personal connection, right? Where now they feel like they know you, and then you can invite them to church. It's one of the most powerful things I've seen. Like Ryan was talking about earlier, like we've helped churches, get generate over 200,000 prayer requests using the prayer ad system, over 20,000 planner visits, right? You can do it yourself literally just by running ads on Facebook and Instagram, asking people how you can pray for them, right? And then praying for every single person. And I'm a huge component of this, because if you spend May, June, and July just praying for people, right? Yep. Just investing in relationships, right? And then inviting those people to church, what's going to happen is some of those people are going to come in and filter in through the summer. But excuse me, when that momentum season of back to school hits, right? And everyone's like, now they're coming back from the lake and coming back from the beach and getting back into school and everything. All of a sudden, you're just going to see your numbers go like this, right? Because you've been spending time planting those seeds, right? So I've seen a church of 15 grow to 50 in 2 months using prayer ads. I saw a church of 60 grow to 110 in 3 months. I saw a church plan of 130 grow to 200 over the summer, exactly what we're talking about, right? And break the 200 barrier from 130 to 200 over the summer and have their 2 largest membership classes in July and August of people actually joining the church, right? So there's a lot of different man, excuse me, bro. I don't know what's going on here. But so you've got prayer ads, right? And then that whole like summer, you got the Pray for Your Community Challenge. We talk about Father's Day, like in June, is a great way to be able to honor fathers, right? And invite people out. But really just going all in on relationship, right? During this ministry season, right? So that we can reap in the next season as well.
I love this. One of the things that we want to encourage all of our Grow churches to do is run. If you haven't already, we want you to do a prayer ad, kind of a Pray for Your Community Challenge twice in 2024. So you'll see it coming up here in the fall, but we think right here in this kind of the May, June, July, we want you to run the prayer ad system here to really make the most of the summer season. And we have a big announcement that if you are, for those in Grow, if you have never run the prayer ad system, we've got actually 2 big announcements. We'll save one to the end. But we have kind of a group of people that would love to sponsor your first prayer ads in the form we can give you a credit back to get you running your first Pray for Your Community Challenge. So we'll be talking more about that in the Grow program coming up leading into May. But we've got a cool announcement that'll allow you to get your first prayer ads system out there and going this summer. But that is just so crucial. Man, like Chris, what you said, if you can spend the summer praying for people, yep. And some of our Grow churches now, they've prayed for thousands and thousands of people. Yep. When it comes to your fall, you're like, well, who should we be inviting to like our fall kickoff or back to school? Like all the people you've been praying for. But if you haven't been doing anything over the summer, then it's like, well, who do we invite to our fall kickoff? Well, good question. You should have been praying for people all summer long. And so we're going to do everything we can through our Grow program to get as many of our Grow churches doing this Pray for Your Community Challenge over the summer. And we'll make that happen for you. We got some cool news coming up into this. Now, a lot of our Grow churches also like to do these relational events over the summer. And again, don't ever forget about that automatic invite system. This was one of our Grow churches that did movie nights. We ran movie night ads. This is a church in, I think, Rhode Island, and they spent about $4,000 of Google's money inviting people to these summer movie nights, which is really, really cool. So if you're doing some fun things, vacation Bible school, movie nights, maybe a marriage or relationship conference, some of these cool, like, hey, we're going to do a kind of a church family picnic. Like you can use that automatic invite system to invite people to, and if people are searching for things to do, which they are,
everyone is,
they can find your event. So there's a lot of cool things that you can use that Google's money for our Grow churches. And there's a custom request that you can use that's now in your dashboard. So if whatever you're doing over the summer, especially like those vacation Bible school, the outreach events, we'll need to make sure that we're making the most of Google's money to invite people to experience that. That's going to lead us right into the fall, kicking off August, September. This is another big momentum season. Again, So you seeing this ministry season followed by momentum season. It's not rocket science, and they work together. So again, if you're like, well, this season we fell a little flat, it's probably because you didn't actually put in the work in the season before. So we prayed for people over the summer. We prayed for 1,000 people. Imagine that if you guys set a goal. What if this summer we set a goal to pray for 1,000 people? Okay, it sounds like a lot, but you guys could do it. We can show you how. Again, we got another big announcement coming up here in a second. Now think about it. You're kicking off maybe a brand new sermon series. We do like this tailgate fun weekend because we're here in Kansas City. Now you get to invite. What if we could invite the 1,000 people that we prayed for to our back to school events, to our bridge events, to our tailgate weekend, to our fall harvest party, our trunk or treat, whatever it is that you're going to do. Trunk or treat's going to be here in just a second. But imagine the power of that. And so many of you guys, again, that should be the aha. You go to like, man, we're going to have a big fall event. Who do we invite? How do we get people here? Yep. You get the people that you've been doing ministry with there. Okay, so those dots hopefully are like, oh, okay, aha. I see how automatic invite system runs all year, helps my big event. I get it. My ministry season, we start to do ministry. We're actually praying for people. We know who they are. We know their biggest need. We're doing ministry. Now we have a momentum season. We invite those people to this momentous event. So we've got a fall kickoff kit ready for you guys to go in 2024. This is when we have our visitor growth engine lab. I'll share a little bit more about that here in just a second. We do a crowd boost campaign here. We walk you through how to do that in the visitor growth engine. And then we start actually planning for Christmas in this season as well. So we're going to have our Church Fuel Christmas planning members lab right there in September coming up as well. I mentioned the visitor growth engine. So we don't have a lot of time to talk about this, but we call these in Church Fuel our twin turbos. So you got the automatic invite system, and then you get your visitor growth engine. They're the twin turbos of your plan. And when these are working together, man, your 2024 growth plan is way more effective at a lower cost. We do a whole lab on this. Some of you guys went through some pre-work leading into this workshop where we talked about church growth multipliers. That's what we do in the lab is we put this system in place based on those multipliers. These are the 8 things that we do in the visitor growth engine. Again, we go through this together in a lab experience in September. So you don't need you could take a picture of it, so you're like, okay, I want to remember those parts, but we will actually walk all of our members through how to do this in the lab in September, which is a perfect time for the fall going into Christmas. These 2 systems, the automatic invite system, make sure that your church is always inviting people who are searching for a church in your community, searching for things to do, searching for hope, searching for help. Your automatic invite system is what gets those people, connects them with you. The visitor growth engine helps you get the word out and make sure that you get visitors in, and it's built on proven church growth multipliers. Okay, I want to show you those real quick. These are the principles. We've studied now, I think, over 6,000 churches because we wanted to see what are growing churches doing that plateaued or declining churches aren't doing. So these are the plan multipliers. There's 8 of them total. That's why there's 8 steps to the visitor growth engine, is because we get all of the multipliers built into your visitor system. That's what we do. But these are the 5 things I wanted to mention as it relates to your 2024 plan. I would take a screenshot of this or write it down on a Post-it note, because as you're walking through the plan for your local church, if you remember these things, it will multiply your results. Okay, so here are the 5 things. Number 1, and the biggest thing, is lead pastors that prioritize reaching the next generation. So as we talk about like a momentum season, summer, or talk about Easter, think if you're going to plan a big event, think about your kids and family ministry first. That's why things like Easter egg hunts are great. Not because they're not competing with the gospel. They're just helping you connect with young families in your community. So as you plan for your momentum seasons, think reach the next generation. If you do that, if you weave that in your planning, you will have a multiplier. That's how this works. The second one is prioritize getting contact information. So if you're doing events, movie nights, if you're doing vacation Bible school, Easter egg hunts, fall harvest party, trunk or treat, growing churches say every single thing that we're doing, we got to collect contact information, because ministry flows out of relationships. Relationships take time. And relationships can start when you get contact information. So the amount of people that you have coming to church will be in a direct proportion to how much contact information you collect in 2024. So again, Post-it note, if you're going to do a big outreach event, a compassion ministry, a softball league, you got to make sure that whatever you're doing, all of your departments, all of your ministries, all of your small groups, all of your outreaches, all of your invite strategies, all of your ministries, you're collecting contact information. That is going to be a plan multiplier. Growing churches are obsessed about this. And I can tell you, go back to 2023 or a previous year and ask yourself, how much more contact information did we get in our database? That is probably going to be a direct proportion to how much you grew in the year previous. And so if that doesn't change, your growth trajectory will not change. It's what we call the law of the list.
Let me mention something on here, Ryan. So like, here's why this is so important, right? So like, I know of a church that does like a big Halloween outreach, right? And so on the Halloween outreach, they would have anywhere from 25,000 to 30,000 people come through that outreach, and every single time they made everybody sign a release, but they weren't getting contact information, right? It was like literally like you just had to put your name on there and sign that, like, oh yeah, like, hey, we won't sue if anything happens, right? If you scare us, right? And so like I went to them, I was like, hey, here's the deal. You guys have 30,000 people that come through here. If you just add people's name, email, and phone number to the release that you're already having people sign, right? And then you have like an intern or a volunteer or somebody plugging that in every single morning, like to your database, right? Now you have 30,000 people at the end of October that you can invite to church. And if you invite 30,000 people, I bet a few of them would say yes, right? But what's cool is then the next year, right, you get another 30,000. Now you have 60,000 people. The next year you have 90,000 people, right? Imagine if you had a huge database of people like that you could just invite people to church, right? And you don't have to have 30,000 person outreach in order to do that. If you would do an outreach, if you do an Easter egg hunt that have 100 people, right, and just have some type of release form and you get everyone's name and number right, then you can plug it into a database, plug it into something like Text and Church. And now those are that's 100 extra people that you can invite back to church. And that just kind of compounds year over year. And every single time you do an outreach or an event, right, you continue to collect that contact information, and it's just more invites, more people that you can invite to church.
Yep. That's why it's a multiplier, guys. That's what we'll do. That's why we call it a visitor growth engine, because you put parts to your engine that you will use, that now you have an engine. Like, you want to take the car out. Like, yeah, we want to have a big day. Well, do you have an engine? Like, no, we don't have an engine. Well, you're going to be walking. Okay, so we got to get the visitor growth engine in place. Those are the other things you guys can see there. Again, growing churches do. I don't want to spend too much time there, but if you don't have these multipliers in place, you're stuck in first gear, or you're walking compared to what we're seeing growing churches are doing there. So that's the plan, multipliers. Okay, so that's kind of gets you through September. We got a lot of great stuff in store. October and November, this is another great ministry season. So this is another time where we mentioned we want you to do another Pray for Your Church campaign right here using the prayer ads. So our Grow Churches, again, we want you to do it in the summer and again right here, because guess what's right around the corner? Christmas, right? And so it's a great opportunity. It's also like fall outreaches, I think, are one of our favorites. So we've got a really cool lab where for our Grow Churches, Chris will show you the exact ads to run to invite people to your fall events. So if you're doing like a tailgate weekend or a fall harvest party, whatever that is, so you can run invite ads to those events, and then you can run the prayer ads as well. So we'll be kind of walking through that in October and November. I think a lot of you guys, based on the data I was seeing, you're probably pretty dialed in right here. If you're not seeing as much success, it's probably because you're missing some of the elements that we've already talked about. You're not doing the ministry element, and you don't have the planned multipliers in place. And so you may have a big event right here, but you're not having anybody come back on Sunday morning. And that's one of the things that we'll try to fix for the visitor growth engine. We'll also get the plan your visit system installed that will really help that as well. Keep in mind, don't forget about that automatic invite system. This was a church that this last fall, they used $7,400 of Google's money to invite their community to their fall festival, okay? And they got 1,500 people from their community who are searching for something to do. These are people within transportation distance of this church to go to their event landing page, which is crazy. So everything that you do, you want to use your automatic invite system to maximize that season. So this was another church in Ohio. We got a lot of Michigan people. So despite what they say, we love Ohio. Do we have any people in here from Ohio or Michigan? You guys could get a shout out in the comments. But this church used $6,200 in their automatic invite system to get over 1,000 people to learn about their fall festival. So Chris, walk us through the final season, December through January. This is another big momentum season here to end the year.
Yeah, which we're kind of right in the middle of right now, right in that January season. But this is such a fun momentum season. A lot of us naturally see people we haven't seen, right? A lot of faces we haven't seen are coming back to our Christmas services, Christmas Eve services. I know a lot of churches do Christmas outreach. I know one church that did like a pictures with Santa kind of thing, right? Had like 47 new visitors. Their church ran about 120, and they had 47 new visitors at this Christmas outreach. That they're then, because they prioritized getting contact information, were able to invite back for the Christmas Eve services. So Christmas and New Year's are the big momentum points here during these. There's a lot of different things that we can do, and we recommend running Christmas ads, right? Specifically on Facebook and Instagram. I have to be careful here. I'm not a fan of direct mail, though. I think I'll talk to church like, hey, we've set aside $100 for Facebook, and then $8,000 for direct mail. And I'm like, okay, great. Man, let's flip that, right? And let's do $8,000 on Facebook and Instagram and $100 on direct mail. And I guarantee you would see at least 10 times more results, probably a lot more than that. So I'm a huge fan of that, of using Facebook and Instagram and the tools that God has given us to be able to get the word out about our churches and invite people to both our Christmas services and then also again at New Year's, right? Because everyone's kind of getting back. You have that same natural momentum that happens at back to school, where everyone's getting back into routine. They're coming back into, kids are getting back into school. You got, soccer practice, and, in the winter, you got wrestling practice and basketball practice. And if you're from Maryland, like me, you got indoor lacrosse practice. Ooh. Let's go. Come on, somebody. Right. So as people are getting back into that routine, they're naturally coming back to church. And so it's a perfect time to invite people, because a lot of times they're looking for a new church in January. And so they just don't know that you exist, right? So if you can be out there, right, that's where the automatic invite system comes in, where you've got Google's money just running ads all the time, 24/7, inviting people to your church. And it's where the visitor growth engine can really help. In fact, we've talked about this before. I set up a visitor growth engine for my church like years ago when I did this. And so when that starts happening, you start getting text messages like this. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'll read it. It might be backwards there. Right. But you get text message like this, says, "Hey, customers are noticing you." This is from Google saying, "Hey, Guts Church Tulsa," the name of my church, "was viewed 46,494 times in May. Attract new visitors with a new photo." Right. So like, it's just letting me know, because it's running in the background constantly. 46,000 people last month, right, found the church on Google or whatever, and then went to our website to learn more about it. So these are the types of things that you can use, especially during that momentum season of that December and January, that are just going to help you get in front of more people, right, and get more invites out there.
So that's December and January. Again, a huge time. I want to mention for all of our Grow churches, right there in the beginning of December, Chris will be leading the Christmas Ads Grow Lab. He will walk you through the exact ad strategy on Facebook. And then Molly will be there with our Google team, where you can submit what you're doing. If you're doing Christmas Eve or a big Christmas service or another kind of outreach event, where you can submit your Google ads as well. So Chris got you covered on exactly what Facebook ads to run. And then Molly and her team have you covered on the Google ads. We'll be kind of walking all that through at the beginning of December, so all of your ads are in place. And then we do have a January kit that you can use to kick off 2025. That's a great time. So we've got a kit that you can use specifically. If you want to use it, all the sermon series notes are done, the invite selfies and ads, and the playbooks, the social media content, the bumper video, all of that is done for January 2025 for our January kickoff kit. So December and January is a great time, because if you're building up momentum and then you keep getting good at this and do it again, man, you can keep compounding the impact that you can have. Again, for your automatic invite system, don't forget about that for whatever you're doing for Christmas, the Christmas invite ads. This was a church in North Carolina that spent almost $6,000 of Google's money to get 878 people onto their Christmas landing page. This was another church in Pennsylvania. I started a Michigan-Ohio war. So if you see your state mentioned here, give us a shout out. I think we have churches in almost maybe every state. I know we've got some,
think we do, yeah.
Hawaii friends for sure. I know we got Alaska locked in. I think we were missing one state, if I remember right, but we might have locked them up. So this was a church that spent over $5,000 and got 883 people. Now, the other thing I want to mention too is you guys saw the multipliers. I know we have a lot of people on here of like, hey, we got to do a better job reaching the next generation. And you saw those multipliers. Like, the number one indicator that you're going to be a growing church is that your leadership prioritizes reaching the next generation. You want to make sure that your automatic invite system mirrors that. So if you are running the Google Ad Grant for yourself, be sure that you set up campaigns that target young families, kids ministries, vacation Bible schools, Christmas activities for the family, Easter activities for the family, a Mother's Day, if you're doing like a photo booth, anything that you can do to make sure that your kids and your youth and your family ministries are highlighted in your automatic invite system. That's going to be a multiplier in your visitor system for 2024. This was a church in Lubbock, Texas. This was just November and December. Oh my goodness, if this is right, Molly pulled these for me. They spent $8,000 just in featuring their kids events for kind of around Christmas, and got over 2,000 young families onto the church's website, checking out their kids' invites for December. That is crazy. I need to double check on that. I was like, that feels like a lot, Molly. So, okay, so what now? So that's kind of the 2024 plan, automatic invite system. Remember, a system works best. It's not, growth isn't a secret. It's a system. Like Chris said, it's not like a mystery. It's just math. And it's like, how many people can we invite to your church in 2024? So now is the time to work the plan. And really, we would just like to say, hey, there's two options for you. Go set up the system. We already gave you guys permission. We showed you kind of what we do. We show you our plan for the year, what we're going to do, when we're going to do ministry seasons, when we're going to do prayer campaigns, when we're going to do ads, what platforms we're doing the ads on, how we're setting it up. So man, take it, run with it, implement it. Maybe you got one or two ideas that your team could take and implement. Man, go do that and build some momentum and get to work. Option number two is if there's a way that you'd love to partner with Church Fuel and our team to do the heavy lifting for you and go on the journey with you, we wanted just to kind of unpack what option two looks like, okay? So if it'd be okay, can we show you the program that we created? It is the Grow program. We kind of outlined that plan for our Grow churches, what we're doing for this program in 2024. The key is in Grow, if you like that plan, we implement the plan for you, and we use Google's grant money to fund the plan, okay? So is it okay if we showed you this program? Chris and I always like to make sure that, hey, do we have your permission? So
yeah, let us know in the chat if that's okay if we take a few minutes to kind of share that with you.
Man, I'm seeing a lot of people's names in the chat here that I recognize, that I know. Man, it's good to see you guys. Some of our Grow churches here, some of our coaches here as well. Man, it's good to Carol, yes. Michael, yes. Terry, yes. Okay, we'll walk through this just as quickly as possible. For those of you like, man, I love that plan. What would it look like if your team of 27 just implemented that plan with us in 2024? So that's what we call our Grow program. So we have three levels at Church Fuel. We have our starter membership, we have our coaching membership, and then we have our Grow. Grow is our top tier, done with you, where our team walks with you to implement this plan at your church. Zach Minton, who's one of our favorite people in the world. Zach says Grow is one of the best staff members we have. That is one of our biggest honors, is when you feel like, man, the Church Fuel team is a part of my staff. And we've got an extra staff member. So for some of you guys said, hey, our biggest problem is we don't have enough team members to implement a visitor plan. This can be a great fit for you, because our team, man, we're obsessed with helping your church reach people. We will get the automatic invite system. We do that for you. We make sure that our job is that your church doesn't get left behind, and we help you stay ahead of the curve. And today I had a couple friends, Andrew was texting me, hey, is Grow open right now? I was like, it is opening up in like 30 minutes. So as of right now, we open up a limited amount of spots for the churches that would say, hey, I want to do this in 2024 and I want to get one of those spots. This is a high touch program, so we don't let everybody in. We have an X amount of spots. Once those spots are gone, they're gone, because we go really, as Chris says, hard in the paint, serving these churches. We do a lot of members labs. We help you with all these things. And so there's a limited amount of spots in this top tier program. So the core of Grow is our automatic invite system. It's what we've already talked about. It's what we showed you. We set up and maximize the $10,000 a month of Google grant campaigns for your church. So we set up the campaigns, we run the campaigns, we monitor the campaigns. When Google says the campaigns are broken, our team fixes it. When Google says you need to do this, our team fixes it. So we run the automatic invite system for you all year long in 2024. That is the core of Grow, okay? So if nothing else, if you hear nothing else, if you would like the automatic invite system and you want the Church Fuel team to run it, you should get one of the Grow spots, okay? The automatic invite system, using Google's money, it consists of invite ads, ministry ads, momentum ads, community ads, and this is a big one, custom ads. So if you're doing movie nights, if you're doing an Easter egg hunt, you're doing a Christmas event, you're doing a vacation Bible school, you can submit a request to our team and we will create a custom ad campaign for whatever events that you're doing at your church. Now, we need a little bit of a lead time so we can make sure that those are as effective as possible. But you not only get the automatic part, you get the custom part as well, which is really, really crazy. And I'm super proud of the work that our team has done making those ads work for our Grow churches. Chris, walk us through a little bit, because some of you guys may not know exactly what those ad types are. Walk us through the different ad types.
Yeah, so we're talking about automatic invite system, right? And so when we use Google's money, right, to set up those 5 types of ads, what exactly are they? So the first type are invite ads, right? So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we have an automated system. It's inviting people to your church on page 1 every time people search Google, right? So if they're searching, they're finding your church, and they're finding your church on page 1, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, right? So those are the invite ads. The second type of ads that we're going to set up using Google's money is we want to have invites built around those key momentum points that we were talking about for the momentum seasons, right? So those key momentum points on the course of the year: Christmas, Easter, Mother's Day, back to school, harvest party, New Year's, right? All those types of things. We're gonna automatically build those ads for you. We're also going to use Google's money to do ministry ads. Again, one of my personal favorites. All right, so we want to have ministry-based invites like prayer ads that we can run and do ministry outside the 4 walls of our church that end up leading to an invite on Sunday morning. Right. So, and then the fourth type are community ads, right? So when people are searching for things to do in your community, right? So like I live in Tulsa, right? We're going to set it up so that like if someone goes and searches things to do in Tulsa for young families, we want my church to show up on page 1. So whatever your city is, we'll set it up that way. So when people are looking for things to do in Omaha, right, or things to do for young families in Dallas, right, whatever it is, they're going to find your church on page 1. So those are community ads. And then lastly are the ones Ryan was just talking about, custom ads. We love these because it's whenever you have something coming up, right? And every church is different, right? So this is, you might have something like a guest speaker or a new sermon series or a church event or an Easter egg hunt, family fun night, et cetera. Whatever that is, all you have to do is just let us know, and then our team will actually go out and build custom Google ads, right? And we'll use Google's money to invite people to your custom event. So those are the 5 different types of ads, right? The 5 pillars that make up the automatic invite system: invite ads, momentum ads, ministry ads, community ads, and custom ads.
Hey, would you guys do this for me in the chat? Let us know, what type of events are you guys doing in 2024? We've seen a lot of churches do conferences. Like a bit, like whether it's worship conferences, leadership conferences, they get guest speakers,
parenting conferences,
men's conferences, women's conferences. We've seen a lot of that coming in. Some of the men's breakfast side of things. So what type of events do you have planned for 2024? Because I want a light bulb. Because some of you is like, yeah, we've got a men's conference coming up. That men's conference, we have an ads budget for it. Could we take it, invest it, and grow, and then use Google's money? So I want you to start to see the dots. So like you may already have some money set aside for some of your events that we can partner with you in the budgeting side of it. And our team can then come alongside and use Google's money for that event. So a lot of you guys, monthly block parties, that's a good one. Worship nights, youth and young adults conferences, women's conferences, movie nights, a grand opening. Yeah, a lot of people are launching campuses, a second service. Now we have some people are like, can you do this for a capital campaign? Technically, maybe, but not a lot of people are going to Google saying, I want to give away my money to, you know. So we're talking about outreach events, you know, type deal. So Juneteenth outreach conferences, very, very cool. Keep them coming because it's always fun to see what you guys have planned. I just want you to connect the dots. What you have planned in 2024, plus an automatic invite system, plus, you know, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, all of that can really be a powerful system. And this is essentially a visual of what it looks like. People are searching Google, things to do. They find your men's conference, women's conference, kids ministry, Easter egg hunt, vacation Bible school, movie nights. You guys saw all the things, right? That is then going to lead to new visitors on Sunday. That is kind of just as simple as we could put it on one screen. Nathan's like, let me just put a visual together so they see how this works. That is the automatic invite system. George said this, Google ads are amazing. We got a steady stream of new visitors. Ty says this has been such a blessing to the church. We constantly have new people coming in because they found us on Google. We've also gotten over 50 5-star reviews. Man, fist bump there.
Yeah, come on, Pastor Ty.
That is awesome. So for those of you, just to make sure that we going into, if you're thinking about, man, we're thinking about getting one of those spots, this looks awesome. Just to be clear, this is not a short-term fix. It does take us some months of working with our team together to get these Google ads optimized. Sometimes we got to work on your website. Sometimes we got to get that visitor growth engine in place. Sometimes we got to get your 501c. So this is not like, oh, okay, I enroll and grow and you guys quadruple my church tomorrow. That's not grow. Grow is for the church that says, very much like sending out a foreign missionary. Hey, I'm in it for the long haul. Your team looks amazing. You guys feel like you have a passion for the local church. You know what you're doing. Let's just partner together and go on this journey. That's who Grow is for. It's not like, hey, my church is going to close if I don't do something this week. Man, we will love you. We will pray for you. We'll try to do whatever we can. Grow is for a long-term local missions partnership that we plan to do this for the next 10 years. Grow is not for churches that are struggling financially, okay? And it's not a silver bullet, okay? We just want to throw that out there, just to be super clear up front. If that is you, we love you. We will pray for you. We will do some things. We try to always reach out. If you guys have been around the Church Field team for a while, you know, man, our team has huge hearts, and we will do whatever we can to help you. Grow is not it, okay? Grow is for a team that says, hey, our church is Jesus-centered, and it's evangelical, and we want to reach a ton of people. Our local missions is a priority, and we want to set aside some legit budget to make this happen, and we're looking for a long-term partnership. Chris, Ryan, and your team of 27, we love you guys. Let's just work together for as long as God would have us, and let's just reach as many people as possible. Let's crowd heaven. You are going to be a great fit for Grow, okay? Compare Grow to like sending out a direct mail. So the price of Grow. So if your church, if you have enough financial stability to say, hey, we are considering in 2024, we're going to send out a mailer. You know, I ask a lot of you guys in the Church Marketers Facebook group, who's sending out a mailer? What's kind of your budget? For a lot of you, this felt like the average. Hey, we're going to do one mailer. Think about this, because this is what a lot of our churches do. We're going to send one mailer in 2024. We've got a budget of $5,000. And we're going to deliver 10,000 pieces of mail. One mailer, $5,000, 10,000 pieces of mail. Or you could just get the whole 2024 plan that we talked about, okay? So I just want you to connect the dots. We could do this, or maybe you're like, hey, we've got a men's conference coming up. We were going to do one mailer for it, $5,000. Like, I want you to be like, okay, I could either do that, or you guys could jump in to the Grow program, okay? Why don't you give these two, because I know these two feedback here are some of your favorites.
Yeah, I really, Douglas said, hey, like I started Grow and I cut out all the other fluff stuff, right? And subscriptions, move budget around to include it. It's priceless and will in the end pay for itself, right? Which is awesome. Then here's Pastor Pat that said, Grow is paid for itself, right? And then some for us. This past weekend, 8 first-time guests. 6 months in, we're now having more guests per week. Here's what's cool about Pastor Pat is that he was 6 months in when he sent us that, right? Like about 12 months in, his church had gone from 25 people to over 100. He quadrupled his church, right? Didn't happen overnight, didn't happen right away, not a silver bullet, but within the first 12 months, quadrupled his church, had over 100 people, and he was bivocational. He was able to quit his job and fulfill his dream of going full-time at the church. Right. So pretty awesome. He said Grow's paid for itself. And then here's Pastor Darrell said, CMU Grow is worth the money. We had plateaued and we're not seeing any visitors. We now have a steady stream of people that have either visited or are planning to visit our church. We have so much more to install in the CMU Grow system. So
Grow, guys, I mentioned kind of similar to direct mail, typically $499 a month. I mentioned it's our top tier done with you style program. And we do have a limited spots, and you guys are the first ones to get access to these spots. What's cool is between now and the 18th of January, we are actually doing the Grow enrollment opportunity where you're going to get it at $399 a month, or you can save even more if you'd like to choose the annual option and get it at $333 a month if paid annually. Again, that price point between now and January 18th gets you in at less than the cost of sending out one direct mail piece. So if you got a finance guy that you need to run this by, here's the easy math. You invest $399 a month in Grow, and you get back our team running up to $10,000 a month in campaigns set up and run for you in the automatic invite system, okay? So that normally for a finance guy who's good with math is like, that seems pretty good. $399 in, and then they run $10,000 worth of invite ads to our church, plus everything else that we'll talk to you about. If you're good at math and you have a finance guy, they're probably like, okay, that sounds
when I was on staff at my church, that's how I saw. We literally hired a guy just to run that. We paid him $500 a month just to run the Google grant for us. And I just went to like our business office. And I was like, we pay him $500, we get 10,000. And they're like, yeah, where do we send the check? Right.
So if you guys want to jump in, get one of the spots. Again, between now and January 18th at 8 p.m., enrollment is open into the Grow program. It will close early if the spots are gone, but as long as this link is working, churchfuel.com/order, you can grab one of those spots, and then the price should be marked down already there for you. You can choose the monthly option or you can choose the annual option. So somebody on the team, if you'd help me put in there, churchfuel.com/order, go ahead and drop that offering in there. That'll get the crew. You can jump in there as well.
And if we have some Grow churches that are on here right now, would you guys, some of you guys, just post in the chat what your experience has been in Grow so far? I know we had some people asking about that. So if you guys are in Grow, if you just kind of let people know in the chat what your experience has been so far.
Craig says, Grow, the best value around. Thank you very much. Doug, yes, we prayed for over 2,600 people and had hundreds of planer visits. That's why we say, hey, this isn't marketing. This is ministry. This is a system to help you do ongoing ministry every single week in 2024. Now, we do have some cool bonuses. If you guys know us, we love bonuses. So bonus number 1 is that visitor growth engine. We're going to take you through that lab in September, and we're going to help you set up your system, okay? We've got it down where we take you through this lab. It's a 2-day experience, and we get that system set up that's based on those church growth multipliers. Bonus number 2, this is brand new that we're able to offer because of joining forces with Michael and Church Fuel. You're going to get Grow coaching. So this is all the Grow labs. So you saw them in the calendar: the Easter ads lab, the church website lab, the Christmas ads lab, the visitor growth engine lab. So you get all of the Grow labs. But this is, guys, drum roll. You're also now going to get access to the Church Fuel coaching program. This is one-on-one coaching that you can schedule throughout the year. So if you're in Grow, new coming in 2024, this will launch in April of 2024. All of our Grow churches are going to get access to the coaching program. So this, if you need help with any of the 5 systems, leadership, visitors, volunteers, connections, and giving, you can now in Grow get access to the coaching program, okay? This in and of itself was a Church Fuel level before we joined forces. That was, I think it's $99 a month just for this element right here. It is now going to be included in Grow. And your team is going to get access up to 10 team members. You're going to get access to all of Church Fuel, all of Church Marketing University, and the brand new dashboard that goes live in May of 2024. So we've got the big grand opening. You can add up to 10 team members in there, and you're going to get all access to all of Church Marketing University, Church Fuel combined, the Church Fuel coaching program, and all of the Grow labs in there as well. Bonus number 3 is what we call growth tools. So we've got some cool software that we'll tell you about. We've got done for you kits, templates, scripts, playbooks that are already done for all of 2024. And we've got the prayer ads ministry system. So Chris, the prayer ads alone used to go before we joined forces. So Chris and I joined forces, then we joined forces with Michael. What was the prayer ads alone?
So yeah, we used to sell the prayer ads for $7,500. We build them all out for churches. Now we just include that as part of Grow.
So that's included in Grow as well. And we are doing a special bonus. Okay, so for those who are live on this workshop, we've never included this bonus before, so this is a fun one. Our team is now able, Caleb is our prayer ads champion, to build out your prayer ads ministry invite system for you. Okay, so new in 2024, if you enroll during this workshop, and we're going to actually take this in order that you enroll, we are going to build out your prayer ad system for you. So this is really, really cool. What Chris just talked about, that used to be $7,500 just for this bonus. And that's not like hyperbole. That literally for years was that. So we will build out the prayer ad system for you now. And that is in order that you enroll. Okay. So, and this is only good because this is pretty time and labor intense. It's only good for those churches that enroll during the workshop. So I just want to make sure that you're aware it's in order that you enroll, and you enroll during the workshop because we only have a few limited spots that we can do this. We can't keep offering this to hundreds of churches. We're trying to figure that out. But for right now, during today's workshop live, those of you get in order of the line, and we will build out the prayer ad system for you for your church. Here's another cool thing. Again, I know this we want to just blow your minds. Okay, I mentioned at the top of this workshop, John Eric Mosler, who's worked with major brands like Disney, Pixar, NASA, Universal, to name a few. He's actually going to throw in, I told you he's officially part of the team now. He's opening up 40 hours of his time slot in 2024 between now and Easter to do one-on-one social media audit coaching with John Eric Mosler. He's run a company that's coached thousands of business owners and leaders on how to grow their business with social media, Adventure Social and Social Coach and Dream Coach. He has said, hey, I will block off 40 hours of my time between now and Easter. So for the first 20 annual plans that enroll, you are actually going to unlock this bonus, a one-on-one. It's an hour-long social media audit. You'll be getting a calendar. That calendar will fill up pretty quick, but it'll be a Calendly time where you will be able to schedule your hour-long social media audit with John Eric. Again, never been able to offer that before. This is something new that we want to try.
Let me say this. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. I'm going to say it anyway. Okay, like brands like major Fortune 500 companies, right? Like you just heard the ones that he works with. They pay John Eric $10,000 a day to come consult with them. And for the first 20 people that sign up for the annual plan, you get a one-on-one social media audit with John Eric, right? So there, other people are paying $10,000 a day. Like that's how smart he is, right? Like in any room, he's always the smartest guy in the room. So this is a bonus that I know we're both really excited about.
It's pretty crazy. Man, you guys are going to be blessed by that. And yeah, so grab that. Charity Lane, what's up, Charity? She's on here. Say hello. Happy New Year. It's serious, like having a whole team on board working for you. It's awesome. Again, if you're wanting to grab one of those spots, churchfuel.com/order is where you go to grab one of those spots. And again, the discount should already be applied there. $3.99 a month. There's no contracts. There is an annual plan, again, that you can choose from if you want to save even more there. And just to be clear what you get, I just want to go over, just kind of recap, because I know that was a lot. But here's what you're going to get for 2024. So the biggest thing is, man, that plan looked awesome. The Church Fuel team looks awesome. I just want you guys to walk with me every step of the way, and let's crowd heaven in 2024. Then grow is for you. So you're going to get the automatic invite system, $10,000 per month in Google Ad Grant Campaign Management. You're going to get the 2024 monthly grow plan. That's the calendar where we walk with you every step of the way. You can see what we're going to do every month through 2024. You're going to get the momentum invites, the Facebook ad system. That's where Chris will walk you through. Here's the exact ads to run in Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day, fall kickoff, and Christmas. So you're going to get the big day Facebook ad system. You're going to get the ministry invites prayer ad system. That's the prayer ads that we want you to run in June and November. You can run those all year round. And then again, if you enroll during the workshop, our team will set those up for you. You're going to get the Grow coaching program. That's the one-on-one coaching program, formerly known as like Church Fuel All Access, which is $99 a month in and of itself. You're going to get unlimited Church Fuel access for your team. So if you want to add your connections director, your associate pastor, your key volunteer, your board member, you can add those. We're going to be putting, again, that new dashboard that launches in May. You guys will all have login access to that. You're going to get the church growth tools that we talked about, all the playbooks, some software that will help you do it, execute it, like plan your visit and some messaging stuff, which we'll tell you about, and the visitor growth engine lab. So it is definitely, we're doing our best to make this 2024 your best year yet, and to make this as affordable to as many churches as possible that you feel like, hey, we've got enough financial stability to do this. So read this from Ryan Hung. This was a fun one. They actually had to shut down, I think, their ads because of their venue capacity.
Yeah, so just running ads for Trunk or Treat, right? So for their harvest party Trunk or Treat ads, they said the pre-registrations for Trunk or Treat that we received are so overwhelming that we've exceeded our venue capacity. That's a great problem to have, and we need to stretch our manpower to make the events happen. We're a church of 250 to 350. And we were only expecting about 300 to 500 guests, but we've now had around 1,000 people pre-registered. Praise God for that. For now, our team probably just focused on the organic trap, right? So like literally like, oh my gosh, we got too many people. It's a great problem to have.
One of the things that we offer, I saw some of you guys in the comments saying, hey, I need to get approval. So we totally understand that, totally get it in the church world. So something that we offer along with like, hey, there's no contracts, is this 30-day risk-free opportunity. And there's two aspects of this. So if you need to get board approval, finance team approval, we recommend grab a spot and then you have 30 days risk-free to get any approvals that you need. So again, we've been on webinars before at workshops just like this where we sell out of the spots and we got to close down. And so I don't know where we're at on spots. But I would recommend if you're, man, I would love to do this. I think the board would be all about this. I would highly recommend grab a spots. It'll also make you eligible for those bonuses that we talked about. And then you have 30 days to get board approval. And if for some reason the finance team is like, hey, let's actually, let's wait to reach people till 2025. Like we don't really okay, we get it. And you have 30 days. We will give you your money back. Again, there's no contracts. So even worst case scenario, you get 1 month in, you're like, oh, well, I'm on 30 day 32. There's grace there, but even if there's no long-term contract. So it's not like, we got you like a AT&T, you're locked in for 5 years. Like our heart is to help the local church. We want to find churches and pastors that say local missions is a big deal. Church fuel looks amazing. Let's go. That would be the people we're looking for. So there's no gotchas here. We're going to give you 30 days and do that. The other second part of this is when you enroll, we will help you apply and secure the Google Ad Grant to fund your automatic invite system. If you're denied for that, we'll do what we can to help you reapply. And if that doesn't work out, we'll gladly refund your investment, no questions asked. Again, this is assuming that you start working within the first 30 days with our team. This isn't like, hey, yeah, I enrolled, and then 6 months later I went and applied for that. And what this is, hey, let's get going, and it will take you through the process. If you don't get applied, if you don't get approved for that automatic invite piece, and you want to cancel out of Grow, we'll refund your money back there. So you got 30 days on either one of those for approval or to make sure that you can get the Google Ad Grant. I saw some of you saying, well, how do I know for sure if I can get the Google Ad Grant? You have 30 days risk-free. Grab a spot. Our team works to get you approved. Sometimes you get denied on the first time. We'll redo your application a different way, get you in. And then if you don't, we'll just refund your money there in the first 30 days. So that's our 30-day risk-free, no contracts to take.
And let me say this because I know some people are asking about this, right? Just for clarity, it's month to month. Like there's no commitment, no contracts, right? You're not locked into anything. It's literally month to month. You jump in and it's not a good fit, right? Like you've got 30 days to check it out. Or if you jump in for a couple months, you can quit, cancel anytime. You're not locked into anything. So just so you guys know, month to month, no commitment, no contracts. You can cancel anytime.
We are doing enrollment that will end January 18th or when the spots are gone. We are having a welcome party for all of our new Grow churches Thursday, January 25th at 11 a.m. That is where we'll all high five. We'll explain more about some of the software that's included in some of the church growth tools. We'll explain how to get going as quickly as possible. We'll also give you all the links to redeem your bonuses at the welcome party. We'll answer any questions that you have about the Grow. We can help connect you at that point if you need connected right away with a coach or somebody on the customer success team. And then keep in mind, you have till the 18th of January to grab a spot. That's when it closes. And then the welcome party is January 25th at 11 a.m. So there is urgency here because starting in February, that's when we want to work the plan. So this isn't like, hey, we are serious about helping your church reach people. We want to know which churches want to work the 2024 plan. And then we'll close that down January 18th at 8 p.m. And then welcome party January 25th. And then February, we're off and going with that ministry season. And then we're going into Easter. And then, man, it's all systems go from there. This is just a good visual of what will happen once you enroll. So this is where you are right now. You go to churchfuel.com/order. You're going to enroll and grow. We're going to immediately help you apply for and secure the Google Ad Grant. And then we will help set up and run those campaigns. So now we got your automatic invite system going that will run every day. We got it ready to go for Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Vacation Bible School, movie nights. You get the idea. We don't want to waste any of Google's money. Then we go to maximize Google's money. So when you start out, you may be spending $1,000 a month. Our team is like, how do we get that from $1,000 a month to $10,000 a month? So we'll start maximizing that. And then you can choose, how would you like to add fuel to this fire? So you want to add fuel with the prayer ads. You want to add fuel with Easter invite ads. Like you saw the options available to you. So it's like, man, Grow is like visitor fuel. And then we'll get the automatic invite system. And then now is like what, how much fuel do you want? And so that's how it will work. So this is a one. I love these comments because I love when people say, hey, it really does feel like we're a family here. The community is amazing. The labs are a ton of fun. And it really does, for those of you who are passionate about reaching people who are far from God, it really does feel like a family that's you're just encouraged. And it's all people who are like, man, we are all focused on reaching people who are far from God. And so that's a really cool deal. Alex, Arex,
Alessandra, Arex.
I literally cannot talk about you guys enough. Such incredible value. Honestly, unbelievable. Again, if you want the order, I saw Nathan put it up on the screen there, churchfuel.com/order.